The tragic case of Aniiyah Mack and the scandal that followed. The murder of 24-year-old Aniiyah Mack was a case that shook the community of Kalamazoo, Michigan. It was a story of betrayal, manipulation, and violence, involving not only her boyfriend Donovan Lewis, but also her pastor, Strick Strickland, a prominent local figure. As investigators peeled back the layers of this case, a darker picture emerged, one involving an alleged extramarital affair, manipulation for financial gain, and, eventually, multiple accusations of sexual misconduct against Strickland. This case would ultimately reveal disturbing truths about power, trust, and the consequences of unchecked abuse. A relationship marked by tension and betrayal. Anaiyah Mack, a young woman known for her vibrant personality and magnetic presence, had started attending the Second Baptist Church at the beginning of that year. The church's pastor, Strick Strickland, was not just a spiritual leader, he was also the local president of the NIAP. He was married, held influence in the community, and often provided financial assistance to members of his congregation. It wasn't long before rumors began circulating about a possible relationship between Strickland and Aniiyah. While some believed it was a consensual affair, others speculated that Strickland was using his power and resources to manipulate her. At the same time, Aniiyah was in a troubled relationship with Donovan Lewis, a man whose jealousy and insecurities were beginning to take a toll. He had grown increasingly suspicious of Aniiyah's interactions with the pastor, especially when she received a car from the church, a white Chevrolet Malibu, which she said Strickland had given her to use. Her vehicle troubles didn't end there. The Malibu, like her previous car, began experiencing mysterious flat tires, forcing Aniiyah to rely on Strickland's help. This gave the pastor more opportunities to come around, fueling Donovan's suspicions even further. The tension between the couple reached a boiling point on a Sunday night when an argument erupted in Aniiyah's apartment. She was allegedly packing up Donovan's belongings, telling him that she wanted him to leave for good. That night would be her last. A crime of jealousy and rage. Donovan Lewis later confessed in a written statement that he had been drinking heavily that evening. Exhausted from lack of sleep, he had spent the previous night obsessively going through Aniiyah Mack's phone, searching for proof of infidelity. His worst fears were confirmed when he found a text message from Pastor Strick Strickland, which ignited his jealousy and rage. Consumed by suspicion, Donovan confronted Aniiyah, and the argument quickly escalated. Aniiyah, unwilling to tolerate his accusations any longer, stood her ground. She demanded he leave and began packing his belongings into a suitcase. The sight of her forcing him out pushed Donovan over the edge. According to his confession, he struck Aniiyah, knocking her unconscious, but his rage didn't subside. Instead of stopping, he went into the kitchen, grabbed a large knife, and returned to the bedroom. In a violent outburst, he slit her throat and stabbed her multiple times, ensuring she was dead. To conceal the crime, he placed a garbage bag over her head and stuffed her lifeless body into a suitcase. The next morning, Donovan carried out the final step of his plan. Under the cover of darkness, he retrieved the suitcase, loaded it into his mother's van, and drove to a secluded area, Comstock Creek on East Main, past Sprinkle Road. There, he dumped the suitcase into the deep stream, covering it with mud and debris in a desperate attempt to keep it hidden. But no amount of cover-up could erase the truth. His actions would soon unravel, and justice would catch up to him. The investigation begins. When Aniiyah was reported missing, the Kalamazoo police launched an investigation. Officers who responded to her apartment initially found no obvious signs of a violent struggle. However, upon closer inspection, small but identifiable bloodstains were discovered in the hallway, on the edge of her bed, and on the carpet. Donovan had attempted to clean up the crime scene, using household cleaning products to scrub away the evidence. Investigators later learned that he had also disposed of crucial evidence. The mattress cover had been thrown into a dumpster, which was emptied before law enforcement could retrieve it. Bath mats had been placed in the washing machine. His own clothing had been disposed of at his mother's house. Anaiyah's purse, ID, and bank cards were thrown away near his workplace. Though much of this evidence was never recovered, Donovan eventually led police to Comstock Creek, where he had dumped Anaiyah's body. The pastor's involvement and denial. As detectives pieced together the details, Pastor Strickland found himself under scrutiny. Anaiyah's connection to him, combined with Donovan's claims about their alleged affair, raised serious questions. Strickland denied having an inappropriate relationship with Anaiyah. He claimed that she was merely a choir member and someone he was helping. When confronted about the trip to Mississippi, where Anaiyah had traveled with the church group, Strickland explained that she had met another man there, someone she was interested in but was hiding from Donovan. Strickland's explanation was that Anaiyah had saved this new man's number under his name in her phone to avoid suspicion from her jealous boyfriend. Despite the allegations, police found no concrete evidence that an affair had taken place. The only known financial connection was the car Strickland had given Anaiyah. But when he later tried to claim ownership of the vehicle, he could not provide a title or bill of sale. As the murder investigation unfolded, another shocking revelation came to light. Strickland and his wife were accused of sexually abusing multiple teenagers in their church. The pastor's scandal, sexual abuse allegations. Later that same year, 3 teenagers came forward with accusations against Pastor Strickland and his wife, Jasnina. The couple was accused of coercing teenagers into sexual relationships, using their positions in both the church and a local school to manipulate young boys. One of the victims stated that he felt unable to refuse Strickland's advances because he was being lent a car by the pastor. As the Michigan State Police investigated, they uncovered text messages, photographs, and other digital evidence that supported the victim's claims. The abuse was reported to have taken place between January and May 2018. Strickland was eventually arrested and charged with multiple sex crimes, including child sexual abuse, pandering, forcing someone into prostitution, sexual exploitation of minors. His wife was also implicated in the crimes. However, after months of legal battles, Strickland accepted a plea deal. He admitted to using a vehicle to solicit prostitution and was sentenced to 1 year in prison. Final moments and justice. During his sentencing, Strickland continued to deny his guilt. He claimed that he had only accepted the plea deal to avoid putting his family through the stress of a trial. He stated, "I am not guilty of what I was accused of, but given the circumstances, this was in the best interest of my family." Meanwhile, Donovan Lewis was convicted of Anaiyah Mack's murder. His detailed confession and the discovery of her body at Comstock Creek left no room for doubt. A case of abuse, deception, and tragedy. The murder of Anaiyah Mack was not just a crime of passion. It was a tragedy woven into a much deeper web of deception and abuse. Her relationship with Pastor Strickland, whether real or fabricated, became a point of manipulation. Her troubled relationship with Donovan Lewis ended in her brutal murder. And in the background, a powerful pastor and his wife were engaging in their own disturbing crimes. This case serves as a chilling reminder of how power, trust, and jealousy can lead to deadly consequences.